Hey there, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Listen, this is part 2 of the Donna Adelson saga. I'm telling you the whole story. You see, jury selection in Donna's trial starts today. But in case you don't know this whole story, don't you worry about it. I'm going to get you all caught up. If you have not seen part 1, just look for it in my recent videos. This is part 2. But before we get into it, do you know what you need to do? First, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share out this madness that I call a YouTube channel. Me and you, we're going to get to 30,000 subscribers together. So roll your mind back to like yesterday when I was telling you what happened. The hitmen on the murder of Danny Markel had been arrested and convicted, right? Those hitmen were Sigfredo Garcia, Luis Rivera. Well, Luis took a deal and he was like, look, all y'all going to prison for life. I'm going home. And Katie McBanowa, the go-between, was like, wait, I'm one of Charlie's Asian angels. And he said that I was not going to have to go to prison. What are these nice bracelets? And what do you mean I'm sentenced to life? So Katie is totted off to prison for life. And Georgia Kappelman, the prosecutor, was like, Katie girl, I know you said you were not going to roll over on Charlie Adelson, but don't you worry your pretty little hat. We feel like we have enough information and we could lock him up anyway. So Charlie Adelson gets arrested. And he was like, wait. I have a lot of money and I have a lot of influence and my family has a lot of money. This is clearly a mistake. And prosecutor Georgia Kappelman was like, listen, go and sit over there. And Charlie was like, okay. I'm not going to worry that much about it. I'm really not built for prison, but my family has this lawyer, one Daniel Rashbaum. We call him Rashy. And he was just like, I'm sure my mother's attorney, Daniel Rashbaum, who has never tried a murder case in his life, this is going to be his first one. What could possibly go wrong? I think this is going to go real good. What you need to understand is shortly after Danny Markel was killed, the Adelsons were like, oh, we might be implicated. We should hire a family lawyer. So their family lawyer guided them and advised them and collected big, giant bundles of their money and was like, I love y'all so much. You love me. I'm giving you legal advice. It's all good. So when Charlie got arrested, Donna was like, Rashy, my baby, he has been arrested. Can you defend him and keep him out of jail? And Daniel Rashbaum was like, of course, Mama Donna. He felt like Donna was very similar to his mother. And to that I say, sir, you're going to need a lot of therapy, a lot of therapy if you feel like Donna Adelson is like your mother. But Daniel Rashbaum is a nice Jewish boy from South Florida. And he's just like, Donna Adelson is a nice Jewish mom from South Florida. Same. So I'm sure this is all going to go great. Have I ever done a murder trial before? No. How hard could it be? I mean, there's YouTube videos and law books. This is going to go great. So Daniel Rashbaum is like, don't worry about it. I know how the judicial system works. And if you have a lot of money, you could get what you want. Oh, Daniel Rashbaum, poor Rashy. Anyway, so Daniel Rashbaum prepares for trial and he talks to Charlie and he calms him down. And he talks to Donna and he calms her down. He's like, okay, Charlie, sit and tell me every single thing about your case, only nothing incriminating. And I'm going to take all that information and I'm going to hire some outside people, some consultants and stuff, and they're going to help me. And we're going to put this all together. And before you know it, you will be home diddling the kibbles and bits of assorted Asian women in the Miami area. Did I mention that he liked Asian women? Charlie liked Asian women a whole lot. Not that there's anything wrong with being Asian, liking Asian women or whatever. I just feel like he was fetishizing them. But you know, that's just my opinion. So anyway, so Charlie is like, okay, I'm going to trial and I'm going to be confident. Now, confident in his heart, he felt like he might win. Not confident in there's good evidence and he has a good story to tell and all this other stuff. So for like a year and a half, 2 years, Charlie sat in the Leon County Jail getting ready for prison. Honey, he looked like he ain't bathed. Now, I don't know that he didn't bathe. He just looked unwashed to me. He had like a scruffy beard and his hair was not real washed that good. And I was like, really? Clearly it's Florida, but you are getting zero sun. Zero sun. He looked a hot ass mess, but we were not there for looks. And so jury selection comes and I was like, I need to know every single thing. And so keep in mind, this trial was taking place up in Tallahassee. That's northern Florida. You know, like the Alabama portion of Florida. Daniel Rashbaum and Charlie Adelson and all of their ilk are from southern Florida, which is basically like another world. It's like the southern tip of Manhattan, really. And so they're just like, we're cosmopolitan and we're very sophisticated. And obviously we're way more sophisticated than these Tallahassee people. And we will just wow them with our brilliantness, even though we're clearly very criminal minded, right? So Charlie Adelson hires this jury consultant from New York City, Josh something or other. I don't remember his name. So the jury consultant came in and he was just like nice, and he talked to the jury and he tried to charm them. And he's like, we choose this one and this one and this one. And they chose a jury that they felt like was really going to be a winning jury for Charlie. And I was like, this is curious, because, you know, I was watching the Emily D. Baker of it all. You know, EDB gives us all that good, right? And Emily was like, usually jury selection is when the prosecutor has a chance to really connect and bond with the jury by outsourcing jury selection to this outside agency. Daniel Rashbaum has given up his opportunity to really connect with this jury. See, also, this was Daniel Rashbaum's first try. You know what I don't want for my murder trial? Somebody who has never done it before, but that's just me. Also, I don't want a murder trial, so don't go by me. So the jury gets selected, and the fancy jury consultant who's like, okay, we got you the best jury we can. Bye. Thanks for the $1 million you paid us. Flew back to New York and sat there and was like, I'm just going to watch this on court TV like everybody else. So the trial starts, right? And we're like, what is the story here? What is Charlie going to say happened? So Georgia Kappelman stands up in her finest suit, and she's like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and she lays out the whole tale. Wendy was married. She didn't like her husband. Her family decided to unfortunately unalive her ex-husband so they could get custody. Blah, blah, blah. You know the whole story at this point. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. What is Rashi going to say? And Daniel Rashbaum got up there like it was his first day of school. And I was like, ooh, Rashi, hit us with it. Tell us every single thing. And Daniel Rashbaum was like, hi, I'm going to tell you a story that's unbelievable. I've been keeping it a secret, and I'm really, really super duper excited to tell you what really happened. I can hardly wait. And I was like, oh, this is clearly your first murder trial, isn't it? Okay, Rashi. Okay. So Rashi was like, what you need to understand is that this was a double extortion. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? According to Charlie's attorney, Daniel Rashbaum, Charlie was minding his own business, and he was diddling Katie and other assorted ladies in the area, right? And Charlie, who is loquacious, he liked to talk a lot. Listen, I failed shut up class too, so I know a little something about that loquacious life. According to Charlie, he was just talking to Katie McBanawa, his trick of the week. Is that a polite thing to say? If I put my pinkies out and call her the trick of the week, does that make it better? Anyway, he was like, I was talking to Katie and I said to her, you know, Katie, I really do not like my brother-in-law. And me and my family decided to all get together and pay $1 million. But my portion was $300,000. So I was going to pay $350,000 for my brother-in-law to move to South Florida. And according to Charlie, Katie was like, $350,000, you say? If you can afford to pay $350,000 to your brother-in-law, you can afford to pay $350,000 to me. And so according to Charlie's attorney, Katie went and told her baby daddy, listen, this dude has $350,000. So if you go up to Tallahassee and do this unfortunate unaliving, then and come back, then you can threaten him and blackmail him for this $350,000. Wait. According to Charlie Adelson, these terrible, criminal, sophisticated hitmen were going to do a hit on spec. Right. What is to prevent Charlie Adelson from being like, oh, these dudes unfortunately unalived my brother-in-law. Boop, 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 boop. Hello, police, come and pick them up. But according to Rashi, he was like, They did a speculative hit under the understanding that like Charlie will be so upset and he will not want to get in trouble. And so then he will just pay this money. And if he doesn't have the money all at once, then he could do like a layaway plan. He's going to make monthly payments. I am not a sophisticated criminal, but you know what I do know? Common sense and also true crime. You know what I've never heard of? A layaway murder. Call me crazy. Maybe that's not how they do it in New York. I mean, I understand layaway was like a big thing years ago. You can't do a layaway, unfortunate unaliving. That's not a thing. What you need to understand, though, was there was a little operation called the bump, right? The FBI and other assorted law enforcement agencies, when they were collecting like all the hitmen and the go-between or whatever, they were like, let's tap all the Adelsons' phones. And then after a couple of years, the Adelsons had stopped talking about the crime. So the police are like, we need somebody to say something to the Adelson family to get them all riled up. So they start talking about it. So the FBI planned what they called the bump. Now listen, this bump is really quite famous. It's actually a simple concept, and I'll explain it to you. Some places they call this tickling the wire. That is when you do something to upset one of the co-conspirators and you get them talking on the phone again. When conversation about the crime has died down, you need something to get the action going again. So what the FBI did was they're like, okay, we're going to take this Hispanic man and we're going to give him a note that has a newspaper article about Danny Markel's murder and a phone number and a note that says $5,000. We're going to have this FBI agent, confront Donna Adelson on the street, but be real nice and mild-mannered to her and say, hey girl, hey, I know my cousin helped y'all with the situation up north and now I want $5,000, so you should pay us, and if you don't, it's going to be a problem. So this is tickling the wire, aka the bump. So there's all these videos of Donna Adelson just walking down the street and she's like, I am so cute and my grandsons are living with me. I'm living my best life. I live in a beautiful $1 million condo. I mean, yes, I'm haunted by the ghost of Danny Markel, but other than that, I'm living my best life. And she's going to pick up the boys after school one day. And a gentleman walks up to her and says, excuse me, Mrs. Adelson. And she's like, oh, hi, you scared me. I'm not usually around brown people unless they're cleaning my floors. How can I help you, sir? And he's like, hi, I don't want to upset you or anything, but you are helping out Katie helped you guys out with the problem from up north. And so we need help too. My family needs help. Y'all have continued to pay Katie McBanawal, including getting her some murder boobies. And I'm not saying we want murder boobies, but we definitely want money. And Donna was like, oh, do you notice my pinkies are out? I don't know anything about this. This is terrible. Oh my goodness. And he's like, okay, this piece of paper will give you additional information. And so the bump guy, FBI agent, hands over a piece of paper to Donna Adelson that says, basically, I know about the Danny Markel situation. Pay me $5,000 or you're in big trouble. And Donna looks at the piece of paper and instead of being like, we need to call the police, I feel like somebody is threatening me. This ain't have nothing to do with me. She says, okay. And she sticks the piece of paper in her pocket and she goes on with the rest of the day. Now, listen, she seemed calm on the surface, but you know how a duck is like calm on the surface and its little feet are working real crazy under the water? That was Donna Adelson. She was full duck with the little feet going like crazy. And by feet, I mean her bowels got loose, honey. She was like, ooh, I got to kegel my booty hole. I don't know what they call that, but she was real super duper nervous. So she picks up the kids and she goes home and she's like, hello, Charlie. And you can hear all this on wiretaps because that tickling the wire, that bump has worked. She's like, Charlie, I'm gonna talk in code right now because the kids are here, but somebody confronted me on the street and this is a bad situation. We need to meet right now. People are asking for $5,000. It's terrible. And Charlie is like, well, wait, Is somebody trying to give us bad Yelp reviews? What's going on? And they have all this conversation. It goes on and on and on with Donna being like, George, I don't know what's happening. And Charlie was like, okay, I don't know if this is the hit people. I don't know if this is the police. We've got to figure this out. I'm going to call Katie. So he immediately calls Katie McBanaman. I was like, girl, I don't know what's happening, but these brown people are confronting my mama. We're not trying to have that. So, maybe you should see if you can figure this out. The bump happens before Katie is arrested. So Katie starts calling the hitmen. The hitmen are like, we don't know anything. What are you talking about? But the bump got everybody talking on their phones. The phones were, of course, tapped, but the Adelsons didn't know this. Later, after Katie is convicted and Sigfredo is convicted and Luis has taken a plea, the FBI and the local prosecutors up in Tallahassee were like, You notice nobody called the police. Nobody was like, oh, this is terrible. There's an innocent explanation. Charlie's lawyer, Daniel Rashbaum, was just like, the bump we felt like was an extortion. Charlie was being extorted by the hitmen twice. First, he was being extorted for the layaway murder. Now, some other hitman adjacent person was trying to extort him again. So it was a double bump, like a camel. Anyway, so Daniel Rashbaum's defense for Charlie was like, Charlie was a lovely periodontist, just trying to go through his life, but everybody is extorting money from him. And so he didn't know what to do. Could he call the police? Did he call an attorney? Did he do anything sensible at all? No. He got arrested. So at trial, he was like, I am going to sit here with my back straight, and I'm going to tell you this story that sounds crazy. According to Charlie, he's like, the night Danny was killed, Katie McBanaman comes to my house and says, okay, give me the $300,000. Also, who says $300,000? That's not like normal nomenclature for things. You're like, give me all your money. But he's just like, she was blackmailing me. And then some other person was blackmailing me. And I felt like I was being blackmailed all over. I didn't know what to do. I'm just a mild-mannered periodontist who likes to work out and sleep with a lot of ladies. Also, he really liked to peddle steroids on the side. Allegedly, child, unclear. Anyway, so everybody comes and testifies at the trial. And I was sitting there like, this not going to go good. I don't know what he's thinking, but it's real clear he's going to get convicted. But Daniel Rashbaum, first-time murder attorney, he was bouncing around the courtroom. He was talking to people. He was real happy. Like, hey, Georgia Kappelman, how you doing? You want to go to lunch? And she was like, no. And so he was just like, okay, but if you ever want to play like pickleball or something, I brought my paddle. And Georgia was like, get away from me, little man. That's not what she said, but that is the spirit of what she was bringing. Child, her face was full like, shoo. But she was just like, no, Mr. Rashbaum. So Daniel Rashbaum was just like, I'm sure this is going to be great and we're all going to be really good friends and I'm going to get lots and lots of clients up here in North Florida. It's all going to work out great. And so everybody has the trial, and then they did the opening statements, the trial, the closing statements. Katie McBanaman was like, hey, Georgia Kappelman prosecutor, listen, I'm in prison for life right now, and this is not what I had planned. I thought by hanging out with the rich people that I would be able to go home, and that didn't work out good for me. So I've decided to come back and testify against Charlie and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Did I lie at my own trial? Yes, because I was trying to save myself, and I was trying to save my baby daddy. But now that I'm going to be in prison forever, ever, I would like to tell you the truth. I'm going to dress demure in like a lovely purple jail smock. I'm going to cover up my murder boobs and I'm going to look as innocent as possible. I am going to try very hard to look like a librarian. And I will tell you, Charlie was in on it. Charlie is a terrible dude. Charlie is the one who set all this up. The defense was saying, Katie McBanaman has no credibility. And I was like, okay, Katie, please say more. Katie gets up there and tells her tale. Luis Rivera is like, I'll come back to court. I'm just sitting over here in federal prison. I got a few more years to serve out. I'm going to tell you my part. They all planned it together. We got the money. Donna Adelson washed the money in the washing machine. Who does that? The money was moldy, but you know what I did? I spent it anyway, paid my mama's rent. I did sensible things with my money. My partner in crime just blew through all his money, putting it up his nose because, hookers and blow don't come for free. And then everybody went back to jail, and Charlie was like, okay, I'm going to take the stand and I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to be so devastating and so charming. Everyone is going to believe me. Guess what happened? Take one guess. Charlie, got on the stand and he said a bunch of stuff. And I was like, ooh, this is scumbaggery at the highest order. It is rare that you see this level of scumbaggery. It is really, really stunning. And so the jury goes out and they're like, bailiffs, we're not going to need that Jimmy Johns. Save the order. We're going to be done in quick order here. And then Charlie Adelson gets convicted. If you watch the trial, when Charlie's verdict comes in, he's sitting there nervous, twitching, looking unwashed. I wonder what he smelled like. Anyway, they were just like, we, the great state of Florida, land of many, many hitmen and Latin kings and juicy, juicy oranges. I was like, could y'all please just read the verdict? Find him guilty. And Charlie was like, no, in slow motion. And the rest of us were like, yay, Charlie's going to jail and Adelson has finally gone down. Oh my God, this is amazing. And Charlie, remember I said he failed shut up class? He was like, Daniel Rashi, I can't believe I'm going to jail. This is terrible. You told me I was going to walk free. And Rashi was like, oh, I would like to officially on the record say, oops. I told you this was my first murder trial though, right? I mean, I thought this was going to work out good. Seems like it didn't work out that good. So I'm really, really sorry about that. So listen, I'm going to see if Georgia Cappleman wants to go for Bellinis and stuff. So I'm going to see you later, Charlie. Bye. And so Daniel Rashbaum flees the scene. And Charlie Adelson was like, wait, I'm just left here to go to prison with the unwashed masses? This is where the trial gets very interesting. After Charlie Adelson is convicted, they put him in a lone cell where they put you on a live watch. And so he can talk on the phone, and he talks and he talks and he talks, mostly to his mama. And he's like, Mama, can you believe this? Mama, these Tallahasseans, what do they call people from Tallahassee? Unclear. Mama, these Tallahasseans were terrible. And that Georgia Cappleman, she went all Southern on them. I didn't know she was going to play the Southern card. She just kept saying, use your common sense, y'all. Use your common sense. We should have had a lawyer that said things like y'all and was pretty and had facts on her side instead of Daniel Rashbaum. And Donna Adelson was like, I'm hysterical. I can't believe this. Oh my God. Now look, Charlie Adelson talked to his mother for many, many, many hours on the heels of his confession. This is what you need to understand about jail phone calls up there in Tallahassee. The phone system is not that great. Every time they connect a new call, it costs you $6. Now, you pay per minute as though it's long distance. Y'all remember long distance? Child, I'm old. I'm long distance old. I remember when it costs money to call long distance. Apparently, if you calling somebody in jail, you pay per minute. But Donna, a woman after my own heart, in this respect, she like, well, I'm going to pinch a penny. Sometimes the call drops. If the call drops, if you keep holding on, the person that you talk to will come back. Donna, in my opinion, had a little earbud in, and she's just walking around the apartment talking to Charlie. And she's like, and Charlie this and Charlie that. And then Charlie drops off the call. And she's like, wait, Charlie, are you there? Ugh, I'm sure if I hold on long enough, this call will come back. Donna has people at the house when the call with Charlie drops. And she continues to have a conversation with the people in the room with her. The people in the room with her are her husband, Harvey Adelson, her personal attorney, who's doing like some financial planning and estate planning for her, and her lawyer's husband. The fact that the lawyer's husband was in the room means an outside third party was in the room, which means there is no lawyer, attorney, client confidentiality. Honey, Donna gives up the whole game. Donna is like, well, this is terrible. I'm very sad. We're obviously going to have to flee to Vietnam. Wendy does not care a whit about her brother. She's never asked about him. This is terrible. Me and my beloved Harvey. Yes, we've been together for 50 years. We've had a beautiful life. We are going to have to unfortunately unalive ourselves. I mean, what else can we do? I need Wendy to come up here and maybe she can help us find a non-extradition country. So we have two options. We can unfortunately unalive ourselves, or we could flee to Vietnam on one-way tickets and never come back. I mean, we could take a really, really nice vacation. All these plans are fine-ish, I guess. Here's the thing. Because she was talking on a recorded jail call, unbeknownst to her, Charlie had dropped. The call continued to record for like another 15 minutes where she tells all of her secret dirty plans. And then somebody says, wait, whose phone is this? This phone never got turned off. We should disconnect this. And they push the button, and that's when the call disconnected. So remember when you call jail, they had that special recording that says, hey y'all, hey. So when you call the jail, your call can be recorded and possibly used against you in a court of law. If you consent to have your call recorded, press 1. Donna had pressed 1 to talk to Charlie. Even though Charlie dropped off that call, the call continued to record. And because Donna had consented to having her call recorded, she knew or should have known that the phone call she was making was not private and was being recorded by the jail or live monitored by the jail. Donna hangs up the phone, goes on with her plan, thinking she has a secret plan. She's like, okay, we're going to tell Charlie, talk to your lawyer. Your lawyer will tell you everything. And we're just going to flee to Vietnam for vacation, where we may or may not, unfortunately, unalive ourselves. So Donna packs herself up. She packs Harvey up. They get everything together. They have visas. They have one-way tickets to Vietnam. And they're like, okay, we have to get the really, really nice lay down flat seats because it's a long flight. And Harvey is a little bit old. And so we want to be very, very comfortable as we flew to luscious, beautiful Vietnam. Y'all, Vietnam is gorgeous, but it's a super long flight. Y'all couldn't just go to Key West or something. Anyway, so Donna is like, okay. We're at the airport. Our bags are packed. We're on our way out. And as they go on the jet bridge, gentlemen approach her and say, Mrs. Adelson. And you know, she's like, I hope this is not another bump because They were like, ma'am, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. She's like, what? Oh my God, I'm being arrested? I cannot believe this. They're like, girl, we listened to your jail call. You know, the one where you talked about possibly, unfortunately unaliving yourself and fleeing to Vietnam and finding a non-extradition country. Girl, it's not going to go good for you. You might want to commence to shutting up. And she was like, And they were like, ma'am, give us your phone. She's like, no, not my phone. This has all my incriminating evidence on it. I would like to keep this. My lawyer said no. And they were like, Heifer, do we look like we playing with you? This is not a game. Give us the phone. So they take Donna's phone and they put her in handcuffs and they perp walk her the very long walk through the Miami airport. Have you been to the Miami airport? It's big. She would have been better flying out of Fort Lauderdale. It would have been a shorter perp walk. Anyway, they walk her all the way through the Miami airport. Child, she got a mouthful of complaints. I don't like these wristings. It's too hot. What about my outfit? Where's my husband? When she's arrested, she's there with Harvey, and Harvey's like, hi, I've been in assisted living my entire life. And by assisted living, I mean, I've been living with her and she's been taking care of everything. Can I go with her, please? And they were like, no, sir, that's not how jail works. That's not how jail works at all. And he's like, right, but I don't, what do you mean? I don't, wait. And so Harvey was just like, okay. And Donna was like, this is awful. Who's going to get him home? Okay, Harvey, take all my jewels. I'm sure this is going to be fine. Call my lawyer. What you need to do is go outside and get an Uber and make sure everything is going to be okay. She talked to Harvey like he was a total invalid, which made me think, is Harvey Adelson a total invalid? Will Harvey be able to find his way out of the airport? Donna was like, can somebody walk him to like the ride share station? And they were like, Heffa, no, we are not the concierge, we are the sheriff. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. How is my beloved Harvey ever gonna get home? So they do this long perp walk. They take Donna to the police car where she has 400,000 questions, and the deputies are like, we don't know. We do not have answers to your questions. And she's like, but what about Harvey? Also, it's too cold in here. It's too hot in here. I'm thirsty. Can I have a drink of water? And her hands are handcuffed behind her, and she's sitting in the back of the police car, and they have to feed her water baby bird style. No, they didn't drink water and then spit it into her mouth, although the way I would have loved to see that. They were like, okay, so they're tipping up water. She's like a little baby bird. And she's like, it's hot. I don't like this. This is very uncomfortable. And I was like, wait. This very controlling, in my opinion, sociopath woman, she's in big trouble. And I would just like to go on the record right now and say that I personally started the rumor that for many months after Donna's arrest, that Harvey Adelson was trapped in the airport, riding round and round on the conveyor belt, living off the grace of Starbucks leftovers and Biscoff cookies. I, Kathy the Gossip, will acknowledge I just made that up because it was funny to me. And he only rode that conveyor belt for like 2 days, and then he went back to his own apartment. And Charlie was like, I need to call Danny Markel. Nobody gave me a warning that I was going to be under arrest. This is terrible. And so Donna goes to jail. Y'all, Donna has made it abundantly clear she does not appreciate jail. She thinks it should have very bad Yelp reviews, and she would like to speak to the manager of jail immediately because she is not enjoying this. Donna has sat in jail at this point for 18 months or so, very, very displeased. She has a long list of complaints. And then Donna has to prepare herself for trial with her beloved attorney, Daniel Rashbaum. In part 3 of this series, you will learn what happened to Daniel Rashbaum. You will learn exactly how many Biscoff cookies Harvey Adelson ate, and you will learn what is happening with Donna's trial. Y'all, there is so much more of this story to tell. I will be here, right here with it tomorrow, part 3, probably the final chapter for now of the Donna Adelson case. Y'all stay safe out there. And you know how we do. I will see you next crime. Bye.